Hello, Yijao Martins, licensed marriage and family therapist, couples therapist. Happy Valentine's Day. So, let's talk about love and commitment today. When new couples come to me, I always ask them this question, and in the first session or two, I ask them, when did you know that you were in love with your partner? And the answer vary, but they tend to fall into two categories, I notice. One is I call the aha moment. The other one is called the slow building. So the aha moment is someone talking about a version of I feel such a desire in my heart for my partner that I can't repress this words of I love you anymore. That's just burning inside of me. The slow build version is one day they realize they just cannot bear the thoughts of living without the other person. And this is a gradual process. They start to realize that they really want to be with this person every single day and they want them to be in their lives. So those are two different versions. And they're both valid. Everybody experiences love differently, right? But when my couples are telling me each of their version of their love story, I tend to just like sit there, listen with a smile on my face when they go down the rosy memory lane. But sometimes those sharings can cause a storm in my therapy room or therapy Zoom room. Um, they may have a different version of their love story, and sometimes they don't like that they have a different idea about how love start to grow inside of them. So what do you do when you have differences and conflicts, even for your love story? Do you hold on to your own version of love story while open yourself up and acknowledge that your partner may have a different version? They may fall in love in a different time than you did. They may feel differently. Or you feel heartbroken and hurt that you're not on the same page, even for your love story, and you start to doubt your love bond. The work begins. So if you have seen some of my previous videos, I keep talking about the same concept of coming back to yourself, the capital self, S-E-L-F, when you're in conflict with your partner. So the only person you can control in this relationship, it doesn't matter if it's two people, three people, more people, the only person you can control and be responsible for is you. That's right. So anytime when you notice you're losing energy to the external world, to the other person, by blaming, pointing fingers, or taking care of people, caregiving, or trying to fix them, you want to take a moment and to notice what's going on, bring it back to yourself. Maybe ask yourself a question. What's happening inside of me right now in this moment? What just happened? Oh, recently I watched this Netflix show called Love on the Spectrum. I really love it. And there's one episode, one woman, she went on the date with this guy, the second date, I believe, and then they decided to have a kiss. So after the initial kiss, and she sit there and close her eyes and turn inside, and then she said, checking in with herself, and she said, "This feels good." And then she asked her date. Her date also feel good about it. Then she suggested another one. I thought that was really sweet. That really slows down the whole process of she had a contact with her love and she turned inside and noticed her internal experience. Then she go outside to check in with her love. How's that for you? And then she made a suggestion. She was taking a risk and being vulnerable and asked for another one. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. So they really show their commitment to each other one kiss at a time and one date at a time. And that's all you can promise. I work with a lot of premarital couples. So my question is often, what are you committed to when you propose to marry someone? So there are different versions of the story. Let me share with you. Some people think it's for life in crisis, stress, and the disease, illness, that they are guaranteed, promise to care for the other person and being cared for. So that's, for me, it's like insurance, right? And that life is difficult, can be challenging, and will you have someone to group energy and resources with you and care for you? And some other people think, well, is this mutual understanding and agreement that we are not leave each other alone, we'll never leave you and abandon the other person, that address the fundamental fear a lot of people have, is to be alone and to be abandoned. So with this agreement, we're married, we're never going to leave each other, you always got me, and I always have you. That's a different one. Um, and some people also have this collaborative thoughts about commitment, that we are working on this thing together, like either paying for a house together, having a business, raising children together. So it's more like collaboration. There's also the notion of this external, eternal, forever love, admiration, and adore of the other person. Even some of the traits that could be initially appealing doesn't appear to be so, like aging, right, illness, and losing some capacities. That you're always going to be loved and adored. They all sound very promising and very lovely. Let me share with you my thoughts on commitment from what I see in couple therapy and from my own experiences. So I believe that a commitment in love is actually um, a moment to moment choices. Let's just face it, there are going to be conflicts, there are going to be difficult times, right? If I can promise you that when we are in conflicts, that I always strive to come back to myself, capital self, and gather information, gather data inside of me, and then after I know what's happening with me, I can take the risk of being vulnerable to share with you what's going on inside of me that you cannot guess for sure. And also in the language, with my best capacity to make you understand me, and so you can understand and hear me. So you can see me and understand me and hear me. That's number one. Number two is I promise to hold on to myself while I'm holding this space for you to share with me who you are, your thoughts, your feelings, different aspect of you with love and compassion, that I honor you and your differences while I honor me and my differences. Number two. And number three is I promise to always come back and stay. Not saying you cannot take a break when you need a moment of self-regulation and self-learning, but always promise to come back, to repair, to hear what you have to say, and to go through the process of holding on to yourself while listening to the other person. So 3 steps. It sounds very easy, but it's actually quite challenging. And that's what I'm pushing my couples to do in my sessions all the time, is to be able to self-define, to talk about your own experience and share in a way that's clear, that's easy for your partner to understand. And don't let go if they don't get it the first time. And 2 is to create space and listen to them, not taking it personally, to value and honor your differences. And number 3 is always come back to repair after a momentary separation and integration. Hey, I hope this is helpful. I have announcement. I am hosting a premarital couples workshop in person in Oakland Hills, beautiful Oakland Hills, on May 4th, that's Saturday, 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock. I'll put down the link down below. But if you want, you can go to my website, www.ezhaomartins.com, to see what's new, and it's been updated, and there's a link to register for the event. It's a private event, and I can only allow 3 couples. That's maximum capacity, because I'm hosting this year by myself in a private mansion. And I already have my premarital couples who are interested. So we're not going to open up. It's a private and intimate event. But if you're interested, you can let me know, and I will get on a screening call with you, see if you are fit for this event. Happy Valentine's Day again. See you